This is Jen Martini, and you're listening to Dig Deeper, track by track. Track number 1 is called Chemical Attraction, and I actually wrote it when I had a crush on a boy and he didn't reciprocate that same infatuation. So it's kind of about how I was telling myself not to fall for him and not to be in love with him, and you don't even know him, like calm down, you know, like relax girl. But like, it's about your body's natural reaction to another human being and another person that you see, that you're attracted to, whether it's their mind or body or spirit. And so I wrote Chemical Attraction to remind myself, you know, even though you're attracted to this person, like, you know, get to know them first and just relax and take it slow. So Hollywood is a really fun track. I was actually playing with the sampling function on my control pad, and I sampled myself saying Hollywood. And I actually was flown to Hollywood to like star in this TV show, but it didn't really work out. So I wrote this song about coming back to Houston, basically with nothing, like leaving with everything, a job, friends, boyfriend, and then coming back to Houston and kind of having to start over and kind of recreate myself and reinvent myself, so to speak. So I wrote Hollywood to kind of, hopefully somebody can relate to it, and you know, about not having any cash or having no car or no means of transportation, but still trying to make it work for some reason, you know, like you still have that drive inside of you to like push through, and like, you know, I don't have the things that most people have, but I still have my creativity.
Swear I could be a rapper, but it's not really what I'm after. My brain keeps on finding.
So Dig Deeper is the title track to Dig Deeper, and I actually wrote this song sitting in bed with my AC blasting on GarageBand on my cell phone. And I wrote it with the help of one of my guy pals. And it was a freestyle. So I kind of wrote the beat, the set beat, and then I started kind of like rhyming over it. And I mentioned 2 famous songs in it, one by Joy Division and one by Madonna. See if you can find them. And it's one of my favorite tracks, and I called it the title of the album because I really want people to dig deeper into like their inspiration. So say you're inspired by something, are you really inspired by what you see, or are you inspired by what that person was inspired by? So whether it's old artwork or old songs or 1950s music or you know, old designs by Elsa Schiaparelli, like I want like the original version of what you were inspired by. So I'm begging people to dig deeper, you know, into their minds and into their creativity.
Oh, this beat is so cheesy.
So Evolution, I Must Grow is a really good track. It actually started off as a freestyle, and I built an electronic beat on GarageBand and on my phone, I think. And I started kind of freestyling over it for the verse and just kind of whatever came to my head. And I was like a little bit stressed out at the time, and you know, I was going to work and going to school and having a boyfriend and a girlfriend and everything, and you know, I just kind of wanted something just like to clear my mind, and like music always does that for me. So I wrote this with that in mind, and so I freestyled about like being stressed out and having something to do, and like at least this is keeping me busy, right? And then I turned it into something a little bit more catchy by adding a chorus to it, which is we are all creatures of evolution, but when did money become the solution? So that's kind of my question, is like, you know, we're born these like natural human beings or natural aliens or whatever you identify with, and it becomes about exchange of goods and services and business and this and that, and you know, that's cool and everything. Trust me, I love a good, you know, $100 bill. But, you know, when did it become just about that? You know, can we still get back to our natural selves, you know? So I wrote Evolution to kind of remind us that, like, you know, we are all creatures still when it comes down to it, you know?
Arise, arise, you angels of dance. Arise, arise, now is your chance. Discover the harmony in your life. Arise, arise.
So Arise is one of my favorite dance tracks that I have on the album, and I actually had the opportunity to write it at Sugar Hill Studios thanks to Pride Superstar 2015. I actually competed and I won first place, and it gave me the opportunity to actually be in a studio to record behind the scenes and create this track. And I wanted to write this song basically for all my club kids and freaks and geeks out there who don't feel like they identify with anything or anybody and can't fit in. And this is kind of my anthem. It was dubbed a kind of like the pride anthem for people who just want to like arise and be themselves and come out of their shell and, you know, be who they really are and not feel bogged down by anybody, you know? And I took some inspiration from my nights dancing at Numbers nightclub, and I actually mentioned a really famous song that they play in there every Friday night, so I thought that was kind of a cool way to honor my nights at a freak club, and at a club that actually accepts people for who they are here in Houston. So Montrose Streets is actually one of my favorite tracks on the album, and it's very, very close to my heart. And I wrote it actually when I was living in Montrose, which is basically the artistic district of Houston, I could say. And we recorded it in my friend's apartment who lived upstairs from me. And it's just about my relationship with the streets and how I just would walk up and down, get my favorite coffee, do my artwork at different coffee houses and juice bars, and go eat. And you know, I really loved how it made me feel like I had a relationship with the town.
Dun 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 dun. Just kidding.
So track number 8 is 8-Bit Friends, and it's probably one of my corniest tracks, but it was actually a freestyle that I wrote with my pal that I used to live with, and he did help me with the backing tracks. We did it all on the iPhone, and I came in later and dropped some vocals on it, dropped some harmonies on it, and it's basically dedicated to all my video game nerds out there and all my friends who play Zelda and Mario and Persona and Final Fantasy and all that. And it's dedicated to the fact that you like something to control and you want somebody to control, and sometimes you go out with your friends and you kind of get to control them too a little bit. But it's a really silly song, and I really like this track as well, so hopefully you do too. So Soul is Screaming is one of my darkest tracks, and it was written when I was depressed and I didn't really have anybody or anything to turn to, so I turned to music. And one of my favorite quotes from a famous movie is, "We are the music makers, we are the dreamers of dreams." So that's kind of what I wanted to channel through this track, and the song is saying that I'm in bed, but I'm longing to be out there and longing to be more than what you kind of just see here, you know? Tips and shots. So you know how you go out to do karaoke and you're really excited and you want to kind of show off your vocals and everything, and no one shows up. This song was kind of written about those nights that I had where all I wanted to do was sing. So I would go out to karaoke bar any given night, and there would probably be like 3 people in the audience and the bartender. So he would give me free shots, and the karaoke hostess would hook me up, and it would be fun, we'd have a great time. But in the end, all we were singing for were tips and shots. My oldest track on the album, and it was written with one of my buddies that I used to have a band with back in the day, and he played the bass, so he hooked me up with this bass line, came and did some violins on the keyboard, and I thought it sounded really cool, so we started writing lyrics together for it. And it's basically about this moment in time when you just get like a still moment to yourself. And I added a bunch of harmonies to it to make it really full and sound something that you can, you know, connect to and connect with on a little bit of a deeper level.
Can I talk to you?
Have We Given Up is the most demo track on the album. I literally had my computer in the center of the room. My buddy Reggie was on the piano and I was on the side singing it, the lyrics by lyrics, and it's about a relationship that I had had in high school that didn't evolve and grow with me. So I had to give up on them basically, and I was begging them not to give up on love and telling them that, well, you know what, I'm kind of done trying at this moment, but you can go ahead and keep loving people because I'm kind of, I don't know where to go from here, you know? So I wrote this song for them as kind of a plea to let them know that I still love you and you still mean a lot to me, and I want you to find something that makes you happy, but I'm kind of lost at the moment. And that's Have We Given Up. Dig Deeper is an album that I am hoping people will listen to and listen to the lyrics and see past just what you see on the surface when you listen to music. I want you to listen to the lyrics, the music, kind of related to your own life. It's my mixtape that I'm putting out, so a lot of it is freestyled. A lot of it is kind of things that just kind of pop off out of my head when I'm in that moment. And a lot of the tracks are recorded from about 2010 until 2017. So there's a good almost decade of music in there at the moment. Thank you for watching this track by track. I really appreciate the response I've gotten so far off the album. and I can't wait for you guys to see the videos that are already uploaded. Please comment on this one and subscribe to my channel so that way you'll get updated when I do post the next videos that are coming out. I really appreciate you guys, and stay creative out there.